All right. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tate Dezay, host of Brother Breathe and Mr. Big Head Reads. And listen, if you have not liked, subscribed, or shared this podcast yet, please do so. We're going to have some great conversations today. I'm super excited about my guest today. And you know, this is the holiday season, and we are all going through so much, and we're trying to just power through. Some may be happy, some may be exhausted, but we're going to talk about it all on today. We know that each year the holidays arrive with the lights and the music, but also the silent pressures, right? That we don't always acknowledge. And so some of us, again, we might be excited, some are exhausted, and some are just simply just trying to make it through the season with a little piece intact, okay? Because 2025 has been a year, okay? But this year we are planning to really focus on amplifying joy, right? And being able to really look at centering peace this season. Also, we understand that loneliness and expectations still exist around us, but how can we really focus on joy and centering peace during this time? And even the identities that some of us may be growing into, how do we really hone into who we are and holding on to that throughout this holiday season is what we're going to be talking about. The American Psychological Association found that 38% of people feel their stress levels increase during the holiday season. Now, this is from 2024. I can only imagine the story that the data will show from 2025. But last year, 38% of people felt their stress levels increase during the holiday season. So this episode is an invitation for us to breathe, to reconnect, and explore what mental health wellness can look like when the world seems a little tighter, seems a little louder, and a little faster. So today I'm super honored to have someone that I really consider a very cherished dear friend, Ryan Grace. He is a licensed mental health counselor whose work centers on Black life, Black mental health for both men and women, queer communities, and trauma-surviving communities. His approach blends compassion, community, and profound self-awareness. And today he is here to help us breathe a little deeper as we approach one of the most emotionally complicated times of the year. So I am super excited. So I want everybody to give a virtual welcome to my friend who don't respond to text messages and shades me in public, Ryan Grace. What's up?
Hi, Tate.
We are in session with Ryan, okay? Listen,
I see where this is gonna go.
Yes, he over there blowing up on TikTok. How is it going?
Oh my God. Well, first, thank you for having me.
Of course.
I appreciate this warm welcome. Minus the shade. But no, it's going pretty well. I'm doing really good. I'm feeling good. You know, it's the holiday season. I'm working hard. As you highlighted, it's a lot of, you know, complicated issues arising for many people, especially during this time with this, you know, with this government and the system. And it's really hard to find joy in this moment for a lot of people. So, you know, I'm grateful to be able to share my message with people, whether it's through this podcast or on social media. Like you said, I've been blown up on TikTok. So,
And I'm excited really to just share with you because you have been kind of a person who is like the mental health therapist for the public, but also for your friends. And so I know that it can be a lot, but I appreciate your time and I appreciate your energy in coming today and lending your expertise. And so I don't take it lightly. And so for many people who might be wondering, you know, what's up with the do-rag? What is this going on? Share with people kind of like your approach to mental health, but also kind of like your approach to sharing your expertise on social media.
Yeah. So I take a very personable approach to therapy. I think it's important for all of my clients to feel like they're talking to somebody who really understands them. And if I'm coming to you dressed up in a suit or a button down, and you're coming to me talking about, you know, your issues, you might feel like there's a disconnect.
Right.
So I want you to feel like I'm a human too. And so with the do-rag, one day I was seeing a client and I didn't have a haircut. And I was like, I didn't brush my hair or nothing. I was like, I cannot go to this session looking like this. And so I was like, well, I'm gonna just throw on a do-rag. And it was this particular do-rag. And this was like years ago. So I've had this do-rag for a long time. And she was like, oh, a pink do-rag. And I was like, yeah, you know, no haircut, whatever. She was like, well, from now on, I need you to wear that do-rag.
Oh, wow.
It makes me feel comfortable. It makes me feel like you're a regular person. And so I was like, oh, okay. Like that signified that it's important for my clients to really feel like I'm just a person.
Right.
With knowledge or an expertise. So that's why I do it. And that's why I do it on social media, specifically on TikTok. Yeah.
I love that. It's like a sense of like home, if you will. Like the performance is out the window and you just being you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And now it allows my clients to show up in their bonnets and their do-rags.
Oh, wow. I love that.
They'll show up very comfortable. And I'm like, that's what I want you to do, because when you're able to do that, then you're also able to just be vulnerable and be your more authentic self with me.
Exactly.
And we can really work through it.
Exactly. Wow, I love that. One of the things that a lot of people don't know about us is that we've been friends for almost 10 years now.
My God.
I mean, from the New York streets to Atlanta. But let me publicly say this. I think that one of the things that I really adore about you is that you understand nuance, but you also are very black and white. And like in the way that you protect your friends and the way that you support your family is absolutely admirable. And I always say that you want people around you that speak well of you when you're not in the room. And you have done that on my account for many reasons in many ways. And so I just want to say thank you for being who you present to the world to be. That's truly who you are.
I appreciate that.
And I don't say that about a lot of people, you know.
It's an honor.
But it also, what people don't understand or may not know about you is that you are very competitive. You love games. You love a good game. My God.
I do.
Lord. And so our dream one day is to be on Big Brother. And so perhaps we can use this as our audition tape. But no, so I thought it would be befitting to maybe start off something light and to kind of hop into this conversation. But from a therapist perspective, I'm going to say these few statements and you're going to give me whether it's a holiday myth or truth. Okay. So just a few statements and from a therapist perspective. Okay. So statement number one. If you're not spending tons of money during the holiday season, you ain't doing holidays right. Truth or myth?
That's a myth.
Okay.
That's a myth.
Okay.
Like, you don't have to spend money. You can. Sometimes your presence is a gift, right? And I think we have to be okay with that, especially during these times when money is tight, right? SNAP benefits are, gone, right? And a lot of times we feel like, and that's where a lot of the stress comes in at, where we're comparing ourselves to people we see on social media, and everybody's flexing, everybody's, spending big, and it's like, maybe you don't have it, and that's okay, right? There was a recent video where a young lady was talking about how I want to see you when you're broke. Right. And I think that's okay. Right. Sometimes you just need to show up. Whether it's with your presence, whether it's all you can afford is a card, a gift card, a meal, whatever the case may be. But you don't got to spend big.
I love that. Yes. Well, you heard it on today. Y'all gift is the gift of presence moving forward this season. Okay. Listen, the fact that I'm here is a gift. Hiya. No, listen. Okay. So statement number 2. Everyone is supposed to feel joyful during the holidays. Myth or true?
That's a myth. That's a myth.
Okay.
It's just not true. Right. And I know it because I see it in my clients all the time. Right. And sometimes I experience it myself. We're not always happy. Right. That's the societal expectations, because Christmas is supposed to be, the time of giving, and Thanksgiving is supposed to be grateful. And it's like, what if you're not? Right. What if you're sad? What if you just lost somebody that you love? Joy can still exist in that space, but it's also okay to honor the pain.
Absolutely.
And the feelings that aren't so good.
I love that. Yeah. Statement 3. Boundaries ruin the holiday spirit.
It depends on which end of the boundaries you're on. For people on the receiving end, you might feel that way. But if you're the person presenting the boundary, then probably not. It can enhance your holiday spirits. It can enhance, how you're feeling and improve how you're feeling.
Yeah. That's good.
I guess it's a myth and a truth.
Chosen family. Can't even read my handwriting. Chosen family doesn't count as real holiday connection. Truth or myth?
That's such a myth.
And can you talk a little bit about what chosen family is for those who may not know?
So chosen family are literally, it's right there. The people that you choose to be in your life, right? Not the people that are expected to be in your life. So maybe they're not biologically or blood related to you, but you have a connection with them and they're part of your community. So your friends, people who become your friends, whoever you consider part of your social support can be your chosen family. Yeah.
And then lastly, therapists have perfect holiday coping skills.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Baby, I got it down pat.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
That's a myth.
Okay.
I'm still trying to figure it out myself. Every year, I'm always like, what is this holiday going to bring?
Yeah.
What is this season going to bring? How do I want this season to be for me? Because it needs to be personal. And I think we don't really learn that until we get older.
Yeah.
And we release some of the societal expectations and learned behaviors and activities. So yeah, no, that's a myth. We're also figuring it out every year, day by day.
And I appreciate that authenticity, but also that transparency too, because often we look at mental health professionals that, oh, y'all got it together. Y'all know how to like manage everything. And we often forget, oh, y'all are human too. Like y'all are going through the government shutdown and all of these motions of, ICE raids are raiding our cities and gun violence. And, y'all are experiencing it too, so often when we come into these sessions, I'm venting and dumping. I'm like, as if I'm the only one going through, what I'm saying? But so what does self-care look like for therapists?
I think, if I am being genuinely honest, I think as a human, it shifts every day, or it can shift. Sometimes I feel like I know what my self-care routine is, and sometimes I don't. I think recently it has been creating a space in my apartment, because I got this new apartment. I'm still trying to like put it together. And something that has really been great is just seeing the apartment come together. And so buying little knickknacks, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gonna look so cute in my place. And it's like, that feels good. And sometimes it is just having a cup of tea, right? So I started buying more mugs so that I can have my little cup of tea in between sessions.
I love that.
I got some tea leaves from my mother.
Yeah.
And so that has been self-care for me. So not trying to spend too much, but really just honoring what I'm needing in those moments. In between.
Yeah. You said something really profound on your TikTok. And I just thought it was so good, because I transparently, I've been in therapy for since 2016, off and on. So my grandmother passed in 2014, and that was like the most devastating thing that could ever happen to me, because she was literally the closest person that I was in my family that I was close to. And then so ironically, I was in Atlanta when it happened, because I was in grad school. And then when I went to Texas, came back after the funeral, I went into a deep depression. I could not get out of bed. I was so like, and I was attending Emory at the time, and like my GPA went from a 3.0 to like literally a 1.9. And I was on probation. They were threatening to kick me out of school, all these things or whatever. And I did not have the language to express what was going on with me. I just thought I was just extremely sad. And I was like, well, like the closest person to me passed away. You know what I'm saying? And she was my sounding board. She was my provider, my my nurturer and all these things or whatever. And it took a year, Ryan, a whole year for me to realize that, you're depressed. Like you are little. And then once I got out of that little funk, after I was able to get out of the bed and go into class, and then I'm like saying hi, hey, mingling and, going to class, just getting it done. And I was like, well, how can I be depressed? I'm actually walking around and being, social. And then I realized, through therapy, I realized you're a functional depressed person. And But I must say, it wasn't until I got to grad school and that experience that I was introduced to therapy. Yeah. Moving forward, I have been in and out of therapy for years because, I moved around a bit. And just a bit. And, and every now and then, like, I find a therapist that may be a good match, and then sometimes it's not. I'll tell you this quick story. I was in Miami, and I had a therapist. Did I tell you this already? I've had a black therapist, a black woman.
I don't think so.
And she was like never giving me any advice, never sharing anything, but it was like me dumping, but like not receiving anything, like no tools, no homework, no nothing. And she was cool, but it felt like almost like a homegirl. And then after about the third session, I would notice that she would keep looking off because it was a virtual, experience. So she kept looking off. And I said, "Are you okay? Are you paying attention?" She's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I got this like ping. I somehow like I overbooked myself for today." And it was that moment that I realized, I said, "You don't have time for me."
Yeah.
You don't have time for me. And then so I sent her a beautiful letter. I said, I appreciate who you are because I know that being in this space as a black woman is already difficult. We in Miami, so it ain't many to choose from. But I said, you're not a good fit for me.
Yeah.
And she emailed me back. She said, "It's fine. Thank you so much. Actually, I realized that I'm doing too much."
Absolutely.
And a part of me was kind of upset because I was like, you let me go through three sessions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To realize that you are overwhelmed. So when I saw your TikTok, and I'll let you talk about it, I was like, bro, this is so real. And thank you from a therapist's perspective to actually name it and call it out. But talk about that video.
Talking about my most recent video. Yes. So I recently had I was going out with some friends, and I recently had like a few people coming up to me saying like how they've had terrible experiences with therapists who have like ghosted them, or they felt like it was just a homegirl or a friend. They weren't really receiving anything in return. And people being unethical or unprofessional. And a lot of times, and I was saying in the video that it pisses me off because we have to know our boundaries. We have to know our limits. And I'm also, extending compassion to this, that therapist that you're talking about. I've been in that space where I've been trying to do too much and take on too much because for financial reasons, for me at least, it's been like financial reasons. And I'm like, okay, I have to keep adding on so I can get the money. But we're also not taught boundaries in school. When we get into our internship or we graduate, and especially if you go to like community-based, like what am I trying to say? Organizations.
Okay.
They'll just give you a caseload of like 30 to 40 people. And so you're in it thinking, this is what I always have to maintain. It's like 40 clients. That is a lot. And so as you get into your field, into your craft, you don't realize when to kind of take a step back. Right. And so, but now it just pisses me off because I think, one, in a school setting, we need to do better at teaching our clinicians boundaries. But then also as clinicians, as we're, teaching boundaries to our clients, we need to be aware of them ourselves.
Yeah.
And so if you're burning out, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you have, too much going on, whether it's in your personal life or not, if you are just not present in your sessions, it's okay to take a pause.
Yeah.
It's okay to say, you know what? I can't do anymore. It's also okay to reach out to some clients and say, hey, I want better for you. I'm not showing up as my best self as a clinician for you. So I'm going to provide you with some referrals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And that still maintains, this ethical and professional, experience that we want our clients to feel. So yeah, it makes me upset because I hear it more often than not, actually. And I want people to really embrace therapy.
Yeah.
And so, I try to do my best. I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect clinician at all, but I try to be as aware as possible.
I appreciate that so much because I think that will allow the client to, make their own choices, determine what, works best for them. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like, going 3 sessions, like I was in 3 sessions in, and it's like, sis, you could have told me this. The initial, exactly. The initial conversation. Really. So, but a gift came out of it because after that I did find a phenomenal therapist. and she was actually my first like South Asian therapist, and so that was new for me because I'm pro-black over here, but it was dope. She was absolutely phenomenal, and so I appreciate that so much, giving that kind of insight from a therapist's perspective. Now, in the intro, we kind of talked a little bit about like holiday, right? We're in the holiday season officially. And so I'm interested in knowing, like, how do you define holiday mental health in your work? What unique stressors or dynamics do you see in the holiday season that differ from the rest of the year?
I think it's not so much that it is different than the rest of the year. I think it's just intensified.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because there are different expectations around the holiday, right? Like one, you're expected to be happy and joyful and grateful and giving, which comes with some financial expectations. For people of color, you might have some cultural expectations and family responsibilities that are expected of you. You feel this additional pressure to perform, right? And sometimes you're going through grief. A lot of times holiday seasons bring up feelings of grief and loss, especially around like anniversaries of death or, losing family, breakups, breaking up marriages. So yeah, I think it's just not so much that it's different, it's just intensified.
Yeah, yeah. Do you find that there's maybe particular populations are more vulnerable during the holidays than others?
So yeah, people of color, of course, people in the LGBTQ plus community, neurodivergent individuals who may experience like sensory overload or feel overwhelmed by like sudden schedule changes. Who else? People experiencing grief and loss.
Yeah.
Those with strained family dynamics. And really now everyone going through any financial stress.
Right.
Like all of those communities are more vulnerable.
I love that you brought the neurodivergent persons into the conversation, because often we don't think about like, the stresses that they may be dealing with. And then also, even just the change of pace, like people are moving faster, everything is quicker, and then it gets darker early now. So it's like the change of time, everything. All of that, it impacts their cadence through life. Yeah. So I appreciate you sharing that. In your clinical experience, what are the top 3 emotional or psychological challenges clients bring to you around this time of the year? Is it grief or family dynamics, or as you just mentioned, financial pressures?
So I think all those things, right? Those 3. So grief and emotional anniversaries, probably one of the larger ones, one of the more difficult ones for people to navigate through, because having these moments where holidays are about togetherness and you're experiencing the fact that you can't be together with this person anymore. Or even if it's not a person, even if you just lost a job. Yeah. Right. So now you have grief and financial stress. Or even if you just moved, there's grief in moving too. So you don't have your community anymore. And so then you have the grief and emotional anniversaries. Then you have family dynamics and role expectations. And so a lot of times we go back home and we're expected to perform as we have always performed in our families, right? So maybe you're the peacemaker. Now you go home, your family's always fighting. You have to be the one once again to make the peace. Right. That's stressful. And then you have the financial stress. And then, of course, there's loneliness, too, for the fourth one. A lot of people feel lonely during this time.
Yeah, yeah. Often what does get talked about a lot is kind of like the folks who left home, right, and kind of like have this remorse of like leaving, and whether you've accomplished whatever level of success, whether it's like degree attainment or living in a major metropolitan city or whatever, or having a high paying job, when you come back home, there's like this pressure to meet everyone's needs.
Yes.
And it don't always have to be like financial needs, but it's also like, come by and see me, you know? And it's like, it's this pressure to, maybe I'm now venting to you because now I'm the client, now I'm on the client chair, I'm in the sofa, but that's why sometimes I don't even want to go home.
Absolutely.
Because it's like, oh, now everybody want to know what I'm doing in life. Everybody want to know how school is going or, you know, and all of a sudden it's like, I don't feel like talking about that.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's like, sometimes you just want to go back home and just be. You know, so I just want to be back in.
I just want to be here.
I just want to be here. You know what I'm saying? I want to have my little southern drawl. I wanted to come back out. You know what I'm saying?
I want to take off this hat and just be.
And eat my gizzards in peace.
Okay. Well, okay. Gizzards. Nah, I've never had no gizzards.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. See, I'm from the country. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but it's almost like, and I heard this before from my cousin, and this is directly to me, but she said that it's sometimes she's like, you come back home, it's hard to even know, like, you know, it's hard to know who you are anymore. And it's like, because y'all won't allow me to be me.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost feeling like I have to perform everywhere. And that's draining.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And they are, in a way, they are expecting you to perform. They're expecting you to perform, one, as the person they knew you to be.
Yeah.
But then I think also as this new person who they imagine you to be.
Exactly.
Right? And so, meanwhile, you're just like, I'm just trying to exist.
That's it.
And so I think in those moments, that's where boundaries come in at. And the ability to say no. And the ability to, you know, really protect your peace. Right? So, no, I'm not, I can't make it to see everybody.
Yeah.
That's gonna have to be okay, right? If I can't make it to see you, maybe I'll give you a FaceTime. I'll call you.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I'll send you a voice note so that it's still personable. But I'm gonna still maintain my boundaries, right? And maybe I don't. Maybe I can see you, but I don't want to.
That part, yeah,
right. You really like. It's okay to have those boundaries in place and to communicate that.
Yeah.
And say, I don't have the capacity. Or I can't come stay all day. I can stay for an hour.
Yeah.
Right.
Naming that ahead of time. Yes.
Yeah. Let's set up those expectations. Right. Or even saying something like, you know, I can't make it to see you today, but you know, I appreciate the invitation. I'll give you a FaceTime call later. Right? So really having those boundaries to protect your peace.
You good.
Well, you know, listen. I've been doing this for, you know, a long time.
This whole time I should have just had you as my therapist. But then half the things I might have been venting about was about you.
Exactly.
I don't know. But no, that is so good. And I'm also thinking about like being like, I think people don't realize, especially when they haven't left like their hometown, right? They don't realize that some of the folks who left, like I'm using me for example, I left for a reason. Like I'm from Waco, Texas. I left Waco for a reason.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And so like I was reading, you know, this book called The Body Keeps the Score. And it's so interesting about how your body remembers things when you're in certain climates or when you're in certain areas. And like whenever I go back to Waco, and that's like certain streets that I experienced trauma on that my body remembers.
Absolutely.
And it's like, I don't even want to deal with going down the street or going to, you know, Uncle so-and-so's house or my cousin Nunu and them house. And it's like, I don't want to go over here because I experienced a lot over here. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that, you know, there needs to be a little bit more grace and understanding that, you know, I've been trying to get my family to come visit me for years. Like, come to me.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? I love to host. Like, come on. But, you know, they just like... They like, well, I ain't getting no plane if it's not driving. But you know, but you go everywhere else. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that there, you know, as folks who are going back home, if you're not hosting, there is a reminder to say, you know, as you mentioned, put those expectations ahead of you, right? Knowing I'm only coming for 3 days. And I'm only staying at grandma's house or whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? Come see me. Y'all can come see me. Right? That's good. That's really good. Many people often feel isolated during holidays, right? And so we kind of talked about that. Living alone, lacking community. But what are some creative ways to cultivate belonging and connection or to find meaningful rest and reflection when you feel heavy on the inside?
I think first and foremost, being you can create intentional alone time, right? So a lot of times, alone time accidentally falls upon us, right? And if we can be more intentional about it, then we can create a space that feels safer, and doesn't feel lonely, right? Because now it's my time, and I'm owning it. And I think that's also around the holiday season is how do you create the holiday season for you and not performing for other people, right? And so even just like seeking out virtual community spaces, getting together with your friends if you have the community to do that,
right?
Reaching out, even if it's just one person, and just saying, hey, you know, this time of year is hard for me. Like, do you have any time that we can spend together? You know, I'm really not in. I don't really feel like being alone right now. That takes a lot of vulnerability.
Yeah.
But being able to have those people in your corner is really important. Also, just breathing. You know, I think we don't, you know, brother, breathe. Yeah. It's important to breathe through it and create those moments where if you feel yourself getting anxious, you feel yourself getting heavy, to just have a moment with yourself and be honest and say, you know what, this feels uncomfortable. And let me just breathe through it for a minute.
Yeah.
Right. And really just finding things that nourish you and feel good to you. Right. So I tell people all the time, I don't care if it's just getting some candy. Go to the store and get your favorite candy and let that be for you. Yeah. Right? Create a new ritual for the holiday season. So now every season I'm gonna go to the store, I'm gonna get my favorite candy, and we're gonna get a blanket, and we're gonna watch a movie, and that's gonna be my time. Yeah. And that's my holiday season from now on, or from now on until it changes. Yeah. Right? And let that be okay. Because it's intentional. It's about you owning it.
I love that. Creating your own traditions. There's so many people who are struggling in silence. And so, especially during the holiday season, we talk about loneliness, we talk about the expectations to perform, to show up, but we also are nearing the end of the year, right? And then people are thinking about like goals that they didn't meet or losses that they experienced throughout the year, whether it's a job or whether it's a relationship. And specifically with Black men, I want you to really talk to the experiences of Black men and how in real life what it looks like to take care of yourself during these moments. And the reason why I'm being very careful with my language, also but very sincere about this, is because there has been so many young Black men that has shown extreme vulnerability online, expressing that they are struggling on the inside or having thoughts of wanting to end their lives, right? Or just simply wanting to be in total isolation, you know, or being mad at the world because they feel like no one understands them. So as we near the end of the year, we're in this holiday season, what advice or tips do you have to those men out there who feel like they don't even want to face 2026, right? And I must admit, partially, that a lot of this is me asking too, right? Like this Q4 for me was so challenging. Yeah. And I made a post online not too long ago and I said, this year, I've experienced so much emotionally. I haven't felt this level of grief and disappointment since I lost my grandmother in 2014. And so like that was major for me to say that, you know what I'm saying? And so like, and then a young man recently who is very popular in the gospel world, he's a musician and he has a wife, a kid, well sought after musician, shared that he went home, dropped his kids off after he dropped his kids off at his wife and kissed his wife goodbye, went home and he had a plan to end his life. And thankfully it did not succeed, but he's like, you know, now I need to go. I realized that because this attempt was unsuccessful, I now need to seek therapy, right? Not only for his wife and child, but for himself. Yeah. When I tell you that, that put me in a space and I was like, what? Because I mean, he was someone that I never would have thought, right? And then not only was just thinking about the men and the young, like queer men that we've lost this year, right? Absolutely. To drugs and to suicide and to all of these things. So I'm just thinking like, it's time for us to have real raw conversations, right? Like we can go out all day, we can have fun, we can kiki, we can like pictures, share, post, memes. But when you're home alone, and that phone is off and the lights are off, right? What are the things, the prompts or practices mantras, whatever it may be, right? That a person can really tell themselves. And of course, faith, I know for me, faith plays a huge role, right? Spirituality, like I think that I made it this far because of the grace of God and because of my faith that sustains me. But I know there's a lot of people out there who don't have that, right? Who are struggling simply just to breathe. What would you say to that, young brother?
Well, first to you, thank you. And I want to honor you and your vulnerability throughout this entire interview. But I think what I really want to say is, you know, that you're not alone, right? And I know that's easy to say, but it's the truth, right? Like none of us are really alone in this journey, in this experience of in what we're going through. And we can see that by all the people that have chosen to end their lives, right? And that's the fact, like we are dying. People are dying and killing themselves. And we have to be honest about that. And with that, that means that we have to take each other seriously, right? When your friend comes to you and says, I'm not doing well today, be curious about what that means, right? It's not don't just laugh it off and then go kiki. Be curious and follow up, right? And I think that's the part that we miss is the following up. We need community, and to get it, we also have to be vulnerable. And that's the challenge, right? So I challenge all of the Black men, trans masculine men, trans-identifying men, male-identifying, to really challenge yourself to be vulnerable.
To be vulnerable,
Yeah, be vulnerable because we have to kind of like break the shackles of masculinity, right? Masculinity tells us that we can't be vulnerable, we can't be emotional, we can't let people in, we have to be strong and stoic, and we have to be okay. And it's okay to not be okay. Like it really is okay to not be okay. And check in with yourself, right? What do I need in this moment? What do I need emotionally? What's going to feel good? Who do I want around me that's going to nourish me, that is pouring into me? Can I reach out to them? And also reminding yourself, kind of like what you said about, you know, if I made it this far, but really reminding yourself that I've made it through all of the worst challenges so far in my life, which means that I can make it again.
Right.
And I think a lot of times we feel like I can't get through this. It's just like, no, you haven't gotten through it yet, but you can, right? It's not that you can. If the more you tell yourself you can't, the more you're going to believe it. So it's really just about, I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to keep working towards it.
Exactly.
Right. And so 2026 might be a challenge. Maybe it won't be. Right. A lot of times we also have to shift our mentality and thinking that it's going to be the worst. What if it's the best? Right? What if 2026 is the best? And let that lead you. So yeah, we're not alone.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And then I also realized that thinking about the next year can bring so much anxiety that's not needed. So also controlling what you can control, which is the moment that we're in, right? Absolutely. And so, and in this very moment, I have so much gratitude for you, for your work, for your witness, for your light. And I just thank you for sharing this time with me. Yeah. Hopefully it won't be the last.
Absolutely not. This was short.
Exactly. But one of the things that I wanted to highlight though, because you mentioned curiosity, you mentioned you're not alone, and being able to also look towards the future through an optimistic lens. And a lot of that calls for us to journal, right? And to write out our thoughts. And I noticed that working in higher education for the last 10 years, that a lot of the Black male students, they tend to harbor so much, they keep everything within. And it's and you wonder why you have these spouts of anger or wanting to fight people and things like that. And I used to tell them, y'all need to write. You know what I'm saying? And then not only that, but I read some of their essays and they're like, no, y'all need to, you need to write. You need to write as a practice, not only for your health, but just for, just the exercise. But to seriously write and to journal and to think about their emotions and to really build on that. This particular Embrace Healing through guided journals that you created is amazing. I actually purchased it for a couple of my students that I worked with during the time I was in California. And whether they use it or not, I don't know. But I wanted them to know that you know, having a blank page sometimes is daunting.
Mm-hmm.
You maybe worse won't come.
Mm-hmm.
Use this journal because you have prompted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You have prompts that you can use
Mm-hmm.
that you can help and that can help you gain a new perspective.
Absolutely.
That can help you gauge your emotions,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I just want to like highlight this because it's still helpful. It's really relevant.
Mm-hmm.
And just really briefly, like, how was it for you to craft this and create this journal, especially for Black men?
Yeah. Well, one, it was something I've always wanted to do. Not necessarily a journal for Black men. I didn't know how it was going to come to fruition, but I've always wanted to have a book. And this opportunity just happened to, you know, come to me. And when I started creating it, you know, it was a bit of a challenge because it was like, oh my gosh, I have to take everything or most of the things I know and try to put it into this small book. But I think it's very focused, and it's very specific. And it's just something I'm really proud of.
Yeah.
And, you know, going on 3 years since it's been released, and it's still getting a lot of attention and traction, and people are still telling me about how much they are gaining from it.
Yeah.
And so to me, that is the ultimate gift.
Yeah.
It's a gift that keeps on giving, and I'm forever grateful for this opportunity. And who knows, you know, I might do a follow-up. I might do another one.
Yeah.
But for now, I just want people to really take advantage of the prompts and practices that's in there because it can really help. Right? It's a lot of personal reflection and deep insight that you can gain from this journal.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I am just so proud of you, and I'm going to purchase 10 of these books.
Okay.
And what I want to do is, for anybody who's watching this, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's, you know, watching a reel on Instagram, or whether you are on Spotify or wherever, if you are the first 10 to just simply type in the comments journal, I want to send this to you because I believe that this is a necessary tool for compassion, for self-awareness, and for reassurance and security in who you are and where you're going. And so this is a great tool that you can use for your mental health. And so the first 10 to type in journal in the comments, okay, will receive a copy of Ryan's guided journal. So thank you, Ryan. Can you tell people as we wrap up, where can they follow you? How can they keep in contact with you?
So you can find me on Instagram, ryanlmhc. That's RYANLMHC. And you can find me out. Just kidding. Follow me on Instagram, ryanlmhc. You can also follow me on TikTok, In Session with Ryan. That's where I do most of my kind of like therapy talk and therapy work. I also have a website, ryangracetherapy.com. You can reach out. If you need some support around therapy, reach out to me there. So yeah.
And I'm already going to speak it into existence. This is just session 1. So we're going to have another session at the top of 2026 because, of course, we got to do our vision casting. We have to get ourselves together for a new year. So please stay tuned for another session with Ryan. But until then, you can definitely be in session with him every day on TikTok. And I'm so grateful for you being here.
Thank you.
Please be sure to like, subscribe, and share this episode. Follow me on Brother Breathe on Instagram, and be sure to follow, like, and subscribe on YouTube, Mr. Big Head Productions. And so until then, remember that you're not alone. Breathe through it, and happy holidays. Be safe, y'all. Peace.